relationship since day one, and I ignored it. The glamour that Isaac wore out in the world to hide his gargoyle form was supermodel pretty, with strawberry blonde hair, a square jaw that always had the perfect smattering of stubble on it, an honest-to-God dimple when he gave me that devastating crooked smile of his, broad shoulders, and the most lickable pecs and abs I'd ever seen on anyone. He was everything that anyone would want in bed and then some. If he hadn't been one of my co-workers, I'd have banged the shit out of him a long time ago. His face softened the longer I stared at the ground, and he nodded. I get it. I wouldn't want to come back either. The simple understanding was nice. More than that, it was a balm, one I hadn't even known I needed until now. Everyone else had either been pissed as hell, wary of me, or avoiding me because they just didn't know what the hell to do with me. To be fair, I'd been a whirlwind of anger and pain those first few days after. It was a wonder I hadn't been fired, though I assumed that I'd scared the higher-ups enough that they thought I'd go to the press if I had been. Did the captain sign off on this? I asked. Yes. Did he choke on it? Oh, he turned about 5 shades of red and then had one of his lackeys tell me to get you. I laughed and wiped my eyes, which had gotten wet with this unwanted trip down memory lane. Isaac reached out and took my hand, and I froze. Everything between us had been heating up just before I'd been put on leave. He was starting to show up in my sexy dreams, the object of my fantasies on a nightly basis. And from the way he was looking at me now, I knew that he hadn't been thinking pure thoughts about me either in the past few months. Still, I needed to hold on to some level of professionalism. And banging him, unfortunately, was a violation of my personal rules around that. Please, Stella, this one is. It's different. I need my partner. Well, how can I refuse when you beg? It had been a joke, a verbal poke in his ribs. We'd verbally sparred dozens of times, but this time something different happened. Instead of returning it or laughing, Isaac's pupils flared, his face flushed, and lips parted. I had just turned him on. I wonder what it was exactly. While I had a suspicion about the answer to that question, I shoved it away and focused. Okay, I said. Just let me clean up real fast. Good idea. I glared at him and he shrugged. Sorry. You know most of us have really good sense of smell and... Yeah. I'll even wait for you to shower. I flipped him off as I went and did just that. I took a swig of the coffee Isaac had insisted I drink, and had to admit, the man knew how to make just about anything taste like gourmet. Even my shitty off-brand coffee. As we drove through the wet, dark streets of Seattle, I was struck for about the 100th time with how perfect this city was for supernaturals. Old and riddled with ghosts, the whole city felt like a place that simultaneously loved and loathed the modern. We were the city of Microsoft and hemp festivals, of sports teams that could not catch a break, and musicians that set off a music revolution from underground clubs. It rained, or was at the very least overcast most days, giving the city a noir feel that every resident took pride in. Old buildings weren't torn down but renovated and preserved, so that we remained old and new all at the same time. Yeah, we had the Seattle freeze, but at least we were upfront about not wanting to make new friends. Seattle was the second largest supernatural population in the country, but most humans, or mundanes as we were called, didn't know that due to the glamours every supernatural wore. I had no idea how the glamours worked. It was a closely guarded secret among supernaturals, and not even mundanes who married supernaturals knew all the magic that went into the damn things. But when a supernatural was born, a witch was always summoned, and the new child was given a glamour to hide its true nature.